He walked into the store just to look. 20 minutes later, he walked out holding a jacket that cost 3 times his budget. He didn't need it. He couldn't fully afford it, but somehow, in that moment, it felt completely worth it. This isn't just his story. It happens to almost everyone, at least once. So, what really happened in his brain? Let's rewind to the beginning. He walked in looking for one simple jacket. Nothing fancy, just something warm. The first one he found was decent. Good material, reasonable price, exactly what he came for. But then, right beside it, he noticed another jacket. Same style, similar color, but a price tag nearly 3 times higher. He picked up the expensive one first, almost out of curiosity. And the moment he touched it, something shifted. It felt heavier, sturdier, somehow more important, even though he hadn't checked a single detail yet. This is the first psychological trick at play. It's called the price-quality bias. Our brains assume higher price means higher value, automatically. Even before comparing materials or reading a single label, his brain had already decided the expensive one was better. He stood there holding both jackets, weighing his choice. Logically, he knew the cheaper one was practical, but something inside him kept pulling toward the expensive one. Not because of what it did, but because of what it represented. This is called anchoring. Once he saw the higher price, it became his new reference point. Suddenly, everything else felt cheap by comparison. The original jacket he came for, the one that was perfectly fine minutes ago, now felt like settling for less. He imagined wearing the expensive jacket, walking into a room, people noticing it. That image alone triggered something powerful, a small hit of anticipated reward, activating the same brain region as receiving a gift. This is where status and identity quietly enter the decision. It wasn't just a jacket anymore. It was a version of himself he wanted to feel. Expensive things often aren't bought for what they do. They're bought for who we imagine we'll become while using them. The salesperson mentioned it was one of the last few in stock. Just a simple comment, but it changed everything. Suddenly, the decision felt urgent. This is scarcity. When something feels limited, our brain assumes it must be valuable. It's the same reason limited edition and only 2 left trigger a rush most people can't quite explain. He wasn't thinking about the price anymore. He was thinking about missing out. He tried it on. And here's where the trap deepens. The moment something touches your body, it starts to feel like it's already yours. Researchers call this the endowment effect. Once we imagine owning something, giving it up suddenly feels like a loss. Putting it back on the rack didn't feel neutral anymore. It felt like losing something he already had. He glanced at the price tag one more time. Logically, it still didn't make sense. But his brain had already built a story to justify it. I deserve this. I'll wear it for years. It's an investment. This is rationalization. Once emotion makes the decision, logic quietly steps in just to defend it afterward. He wasn't lying to himself. His brain genuinely believed the story it had just created. He walked to the counter, card in hand, heart beating just slightly faster than normal. The moment the payment went through, something interesting happened. A small wave of relief and satisfaction, almost like a reward. That feeling wasn't really about the jacket. It was dopamine, celebrating the decision itself. For a moment, walking out of that store, he felt completely confident it was worth it. Later that night, sitting at home, he looked at the jacket again. The excitement had faded a little, but he still didn't regret it. In fact, something strange happened. The more he thought about the price he paid, the more valuable the jacket felt in his mind. This is the price-quality bias reinforcing itself. Once we pay more, our brain works to convince us we made a smart choice. It's not dishonesty. It's the brain protecting its own decision, so we don't feel foolish afterward. A friend once told him the same story, about a laptop priced far above similar models that felt obviously better the moment he bought it. Different object? Same brain pattern. Price shaping perception before logic even had a chance to speak. This happens with watches, phones, cars, even everyday things like coffee or skincare. The pattern rarely changes. So does that mean expensive things are never actually worth it? Not necessarily. Sometimes higher price really does mean better material, craftsmanship, or durability. But often, a large part of that worth it feeling isn't about the object at all. It's about the story your brain built around it. Status, urgency, ownership, and self-justification working together long before logic even entered the room. Months later, he found the exact same jacket, same brand, same material, at a much smaller store for a fraction of the price. For a moment, that worth it feeling wavered. The object hadn't changed. Only the story around the price had. That's the real lesson here. Price alone doesn't create value. Your brain does, using price as one of many signals. So next time something expensive feels irresistibly worth it, pause for a second. Ask yourself, do I actually want this, or has my brain simply built a convincing story around the price tag?